Welcome to the third session of chapter A Period of Transition. In the previous session, we have learned about reformation, voyages and discoveries, industrial revolution, and why did industrial revolution began in England. Today, in this session, we are going to cover the major inventions, impact of industrial revolution, imperialism, causes of imperialism, and impact of imperialism. Let's start with the major inventions of that period. The major inventions that took place in the textile industries were that in 1733, John Kay invented the flying shuttle, which improved the looms that enabled the weavers to weave faster. In 1764, spinning jenny was invented by James Hargreaves. It was the first machine to improve upon the spinning wheel. Arkwright adapted the machine for running with water. The spinning jenny was run with water now, and this was first powered in textile machines. 1779, Crompton invented a spinning mule that allowed for greater control over the weaving process. These three inventions alone made it possible for England to produce thread that was finer and cheaper than any that could be produced by others or older techniques. In 1785, Cartwright invented a power loom. This machine could be run by horses or bullocks, and later, when factories were set up along rivers, the canals and water power was used to operate it. This loom accelerated the speed of weaving cloth. In 1793, Whitney invented the cotton gin, the machine that automated the separation of cotton seeds from the short staple cotton fiber. In 1825, Richard Roberts invented the weaving machine that accelerated the cotton weaving, and in 1846, sewing machine invented by Alias Hobb that revolutionized the cloth stitching. The other inventions that took place during that period were the steam engine was improved and amended by James Watt in 1769. It provided reliable power and could be used to power large machines. George Stephenson used steam engine in railways to carry passengers and freight for the first time in 1830. These events were followed by a great wave of railroad construction in England and the United States. The need to transport raw materials and manufactured products led to improvement of roads. MacAdam devised the method of making pakka or macadamized roads. Let's study the impact of Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution had a profound effect on society, economy and polity. It led to rise of capitalism and imperialism, which eventually resulted in two world wars. Industrial Revolution resulted in mass production of variety of goods which could not be consumed within the country. The surplus of goods had to be exported overseas. This led to the acquisition of colonies in Asia and Africa. Now, through modern machines, England was producing so much of goods and England was a small country and they cannot use their own goods totally in their own country. So they were exploring the lands. As you know, we have learnt earlier voyages and explorations in which they have explored lots of land. So they made these lands which they have discovered as their own colonies. Second is, Industrial Revolution resulted in trade and commerce on large scale. This led to rise of new towns and cities. The center of economic life shifted to cities. Large part of rural population shifted to towns and cities now. Now, when they are going to shift from towns and from villages to towns and cities, what will happen? The crowding of people will start, and this crowd of people resulted in lot of chaos. It led to rise of slums. problems of health and sanitation also took place during that era. Now they had to look for land outside so that so many people cannot live in a small piece of land. So they use their colonies as those lands. So we can say that Industrial Revolution brought countries and people together. Next point comes the rise of capitalists. Now, how rise of capitalists took place? The people, those who were producing or who were the owners of the production units, now what happened? All the wealth came into their own hands, and they had to use some workers, and workers were paid, and they started using the workers on their own terms, which led to exploitation of workers. Now this in exploitation of workers, again what happened? Now people started revolting, and which led to many factory acts. In 19th century, through the Chartist movement, these workers got right to vote. During the earlier decades of Industrial Revolution, the theory of laissez-faire. Now, what is the theory of laissez-faire? Just let us alone gain the momentum. The theory stated that the state should not interfere in the economic affairs of the country, but later it was opposed. For your convenience, I have divided these impacts under the three categories: economic, social, and political. So you can go through it, and I hope that you have understood Industrial Revolution. We can go on to the next topic. Industrial Revolution led to imperialism. Imperialism is a situation or a system in which one country has a power and influence over others, especially in political and economic matters. The imperialist country is called the mother countries, whereas the subjugated country is known as a colony. So Europe started adding on more and more colonies. But what was the reason why they started imperialism, or the causes of imperialism? First was the surplus production. Surplus production of the factory goods. Now, Europe was a small territory. They cannot consume all the goods by themselves. So they needed market. That is why they started settling the colonies. Now, second cause is need of raw material. Because of high demand of finished products, now they do not have all the raw materials available in their own territory, so they needed raw materials from elsewhere. So this was also a reason of imperialism. Through their colonies, they were easily able to get raw materials. Development of modern transport and communication system. Through the transport and communication system, they were able to move very easily, or they were able to explore very easily. And when they were able to explore very easily, they not needed lots and lots of things, like they needed raw materials, they needed finished goods to be dumped somewhere. So modern means of transport and communication enabled and facilitated acquisition of colonies. Fourth is pressure of population. The population of Europe increased rapidly in 19th century. The European country had a small territory. So in order to get extra and surplus population to be provided basic facilities, now they needed their people to settle down somewhere. So they started maintaining the colonies. Rise of capitalism. As we know that through Industrial Revolution, the capitalists gained lots and lots of amount. So these merchants look for expansion of their business. Now, in order to expand their business, there was no means to expand business in Europe itself. So they started traveling, and they started finding the place where they can expand their business, which also led to imperialism. Ardent nationalism. Now the Europeans believed that their country was superior to the another, and in order to satisfy their false pride, they started acquiring the colonies. Next is contribution of Christian missionaries. Now they wanted to spread Christianity. So in order to spread Christianity, they started using the different lands to spread the Christianity in the colonies of Europe. Civilization mission of Europeans. The Europeans considered that it was now their responsibility to civilize the uncivilized area of world, which was known as white man's burden. Now they took it as a burden on themselves in order to civilize the uncivilized countries. This false racial pride added to the raging fire of imperialism. Last is geographical exploration and discoveries. As we are very well aware, through voyages and discoveries, they were able to explore new lands. They have explored the lands of Asia, Africa, and America. So, when they have explored those lands, now they started making these lands as their own colonies, and which enabled imperialism. Next is impact of imperialism. Imperialism led to acquisition of colonies. Now all the European countries, they started acquiring more and more land. Then this led to colonial rivalry, which led to 2 world wars. Imperialism led to impoverishment of Asian and African countries. They were economically exploited. Their raw material was sent to Europe and they became market for finished goods. Through imperialism, introduction of transport and communication system also was there in their colonies. They also introduced modern education system in their colonies. They gave health facilities, and postal system was also introduced in their colonies. Thus, we can say imperialism led to development of infrastructure of colonies, although the chief aim was exploitation of colonies. Now, impact of imperialism in South Asia. Most of the countries of Asia turned to be the colonies of Europe. The Industrial Revolution had not come to that part of the world. The economic and political system which there was in South Asia was very backward. Imperialism led to nationalism in these areas as a reaction against imperialism. When these countries of South Asia were the colonies of Europe, now they understood that it's not the pride to be the colony. So they started thinking about their own land, and which led to rise of nationalism. For example, India and Vietnam were a very good example of this nationalism. They were able to draw themselves away from the clutches of the Europeans. Many other countries of South Asia like Sri Lanka was occupied by Portuguese, then Dutch, and then by British. Indonesia was under Dutch control. Burma became the part of British Empire. In India, thus the whole of South Asia was politically subjugated and fell under the influence of imperialism. With this, I finished the chapter, and now I have a little exercise for you so that I can evaluate. The first question of the exercise is, what is imperialism? And discuss the factors that led to the rise of imperialism. The second question is, discuss the impact of Industrial Revolution on society, economy, and polity. I have given one table over there, social, economic, and political. You can take help of that table also to answer this question. Fill in the blanks. I hope you can do by yourself. All the best. Thank you.